Mel?
What do you think? How's that for you? Are babies sweet and innocent and they're pure and closer to God than anybody and
Not really.
I mean, we're born with a sin nature, but
There is in nature. But I mean, they still show anger and everything else, well, upsetness and things like that.
Okay, okay. So we've got some. Do I have any theology people in here?
that guy, he knows.
What's the problem with this theologically?
The problem is we are born with a sin nature.
Ooh, okay. I was waiting for somebody to say that. Thank you. Otherwise, they have not fallen yet. They don't need Jesus, right? So now, I mean, you're not going to tell somebody who's got a little baby that your baby is all evil and if it dies right now, it's going to die. You don't want to say that, right?
Well, your age of accountability, I would
Okay.
into that also.
Okay, so you got all the question of age of accountability and all of that. Okay, but we would deal. Where's the age of accountability? Yeah, so we've got. I don't know. We've got. So you got to work on it with theology and all that. Okay, but this is the question though, because Wordsworth is not coming at us with Baptist theology. He's talking about the possibility that he says our souls pre-existed when we're born. The soul comes down the gumball chute from heaven and poof, it's in the baby. And it had just been with God, and so the baby's happy and just loves nature. To some extent, this makes sense because the baby is not aware. Children are not as aware of people being mean to them. They're not jaded yet, we hope. We hope their vision is like that of little lamb who made thee, rather than, oh, it's the lamb who has been sacrificed and dies, and the lamb is really ugly. And so he's talking about this and saying that when we're children, heaven lies about us in our infancy. And then as we grow older, shades of the prison house begin to close upon the growing boy. But he beholds the light, and whence it flows. He sees it in his joy. The youth, so we've got the little baby, the little tiny baby. We'll do a big chubby baby. Yeah, nice chubby baby. That's a baby. And then we have, it's kind of a cabbage patch, turtle baby or something. Okay, then we have the youth, who's not quite a stick figure yet. By the time he's an adult, he'll have to be a stick figure. Now we've got the baby, we've got the youth. Okay, and then here we've got the grown up. So the youth, okay, I don't want you to forget about the youth. Don't forget we've got the youth here in this line, who daily farther from the east must travel. Who's in the east? Who?
China.
Communist China.
It would be God. Okay, really? Okay, in the east is God, like the sun rising in the east. Okay, so God would be in the east, okay? And the baby grows, and as we get older, we travel west. And, it's like, the cowboy rides off into the west. So the east is always a sign of God, youth, and all of that. The west is the setting sun, age, experience, death, okay? The sun is going okay. So the youth who daily farther from the east must travel still is nature's priest. So we've got the baby who's connected to God. We have the youth who still is nature's priest. He's more in connection with God and nature and all of that. But he's getting farther away. And by the vision splendid is on his way attended. And at length the man perceives it die away. So when you become a man, when you're all grown up and in the adult stage, that glory and freshness of the dream is gone. The beauty of the east, of the morning is gone. Okay, so what I want you to be able to do on the test is explain what those lines mean. Okay, that makes sense now. You've got the child, the baby, the youth is getting farther away from God, and at length the man perceives it die away and fade into the light of common day. And then he talks about in the next few stanzas about how the child, we encourage children to play grown-up games so that they can grow up and they know how to be doctors or go to weddings or go to funerals or whatever. So kids play grown-up games. They play at being grown-ups. And he's like, why do you do this? Why do you provoke the years to bring the inevitable yoke? We're skipping to Canto 8 now, on page 798. He says, thou whose exterior semblance doth belie thy soul's immensity. What does that mean? Thou, who's he talking to?
You.
You, who would be the youth or the child, talking to the kid. Hey, you, whose exterior semblance.
Appearance?
Yes, his outward appearance. I need a 9-year-old to just stand right here, and I'll say, 9-year-old.
Wow, thank you.
Okay. No, you have to stand here. Actually, you're going to be 6, so you got to stand kind of short.
She stands
Thank
short
you.
right now.
Okay. Emily is going to be our youth. Okay. She's our 6-year-old, right? Now, why is she standing? Why is she not standing completely up?
To be shorter.
To be shorter, because she's a little 6-year-old, right? Whose exterior semblance doth belie.
Like lies.
It lies about her soul's immensity. What does immensity mean?
How much?
Big.
So, she's really small. It's like, if you know what I'm sorry, Madeline, Madeline. I may be very small. I'm Madeline. Inside I'm tall. I hope there are no copyright things about that. But anyhow, I sing terribly, but sorry. It just came out. But she may be very small, but inside she's very tall. Okay.
Well, it's for the purpose of teaching, so you should be good.
What?
It's like teaching, covered
up.
up.
Teaching purposes, so they
Yeah.
won't sue me.
Yeah.
Except for when I butchered it. Okay, so that's what that line means. That whose exterior semblance doth belie thy soul's immensity. On the outside she's small, but inside she's tall. Or the soul is huge. Thou best philosopher, still speaking to the child or the youth. Because the child, the youth, is closer to God and can explain, well, maybe not explain nature, but experiences it. It's in, now this is not the three, okay, remember, the 3 stages of knowledge are different from the 3 kinds of lyric. And you can also talk about the 3 kinds of lyric here. There is the moment of unity, that moment of consummation. The child stage has that consummation, unity with God, unity with nature, right? So the child just experiences it. The adult doesn't. The adult is now at the point of lamentation and saying, where did it all go? The poet returns to a kind of unity, though. Okay, but let's go through 8 here. Thou best philosopher, who yet dost keep thy heritage, thou eye among the blind, that deaf and silent readest the eternal deep, haunted forever by the eternal mind, mighty prophet, seer blessed. All of that is saying that little Emily over here had an eye that could see into God, see into the truth, see into the beauty, and is haunted by the eternal mind of God. So little Emily here is a mighty prophet, a seer. Thou little child, I'm skipping down to 126. Thou little child, yet glorious in the might of heaven-born freedom on thy being's height, why, with such earnest pains, dost thou provoke the years to bring the inevitable yoke? Kids, I mean, if you meet a 5-year-old and there's a 5-year-old standing next to a 6-year-old and you say, how old are you? What are they going to say? They're going to say, are they just going to say 5? Or are they going to say
5.5?
I'm 5.5. Yeah, I'm not just 5. What?
Or 5 3/4.
5 3/4. And my birthday is this many days away, and then I'll be 6 too, right? Because they want to be older until their faces start falling when they are older, and then they're like, how can I'm still 29, right? So it's like, that's the thing. Why do you provoke the years to bring the inevitable yoke? Don't try to grow up too fast, because now you see with, the beauty and everything. Okay. So, let's see. Look at page 799 in Canto 9. Wordsworth takes forever for me to teach because it's like, you've got to get all of this. 166. Hence, and and this is later, okay? No, we gotta do the first 3 lines of Canto 9, sorry. Oh joy, that in our embers, what is an ember?
Dying cold.
A dying coal. It's like the fire that's dying out, right? So it's not that initial flame, right? It's kind of, so would this be youth or old age? Old age. Oh, joy that in our old age is something that doth live, that nature yet remembers what was so fugitive. A fugitive runs away. But the old person can remember the joys of youth. Now, it's not firsthand. It is not firsthand. It is a memory of that beauty. And so skip down to 167, I think. Though inland far we be, we've come in, our souls have arrived, and so it's like, I mean, he's got great images here. So, you know, it's kind of like, here's the ocean out here, okay? And the soul came in a little boat. Okay, there's the little boat. And there's the little soul. No, we need a little baby soul. No, this is heaven over here. No sharks until this side. Okay, so though inland far we be, we're going west this way. Okay, this is the east with the sun over there. So the little soul and the guy's gotten old and frail. Maybe we should. I wonder if I can draw a stick person that's all bent over. Yeah. Also old and feeble. Okay.
Give him a little cane.
Yes, the old person here, now at the poet stage. We're now at the poet stage because he says, though inland far we be, he's walked so far and he's stooped over, our souls still have sight of that immortal sea. Even though we're old and feeble, we can still see God. With that sight of that immortal sea which brought us hither, can in a moment travel thither. We can go back in a moment and see the children sport play upon the shore and hear the mighty waters rolling evermore. How? How can we go back and see that? Memories. Memories, yes. And now what we need to do is go flip over to lines a few miles above Tintern Abbey.